Good afternoon from Los Angeles, California. I'm Dr. Ryan Ava. We begin tonight with President Biden in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, near his hometown of Scranton, sending a sharp rebuke to the MAGA agenda and calling out the Republicans and the right as a real threat to the rule of law begins.
And now it's sickening to see the new attacks on the FBI, threatening the life of law enforcement agents and their families for simply carrying out the law and doing their job. There's no place in this country, no place, for endangering the lives of law enforcement. No place. None, never, period. I'm opposed to defunding the police. I'm also opposed to defunding the FBI.
Meanwhile, we are seeing once again that Donald Trump is nothing but consistent, maniacally posting on his and Devin Nunes' pretend Twitter thing a string of messages promoting QAnon conspiracy theories as he faces numerous investigations. Now, one might call this post for a man who is very much afraid and gathering whatever friends that he can, however weird and dangerous they might be. With Trump going on a QAnon social media rant days after senior Republican Senator Lindsey Graham warns of street violence if Trump is charged with a crime. Well, President Biden certainly had words on that.
The idea you turn on the television and see senior senators and congressmen saying, if such and such happens, there'll be blood in the street. Where the hell are we?
Now, remember, this is all happening against a backdrop of MAGA world losing its collective mind over Biden using the F word, fascist, to describe their philosophy. Okay, semi-fascist, but still. Well, there actually is a history of fascism in America. In fact, the pro-Nazi movement in the 1930s and early 1940s was a very visible political movement and certainly a frightening one. Look at this photo. This photo shows a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Its attendees were raising Nazi salutes towards a portrait of George Washington, and that's 6 months before Adolf Hitler invaded Poland. It was perhaps the most organized attempt to bring Nazism to the forefront of American life, and this appeal extended far beyond the fringes, as noted by the Washington Post, saying it reached prominent citizens such as Henry Ford and Charles Lindbergh. Lindbergh was known to many as the famous long-distance aviator and the victim of a famous baby kidnapping. You know what else he did? He praised Adolf Hitler as undoubtedly a great man. So when President Biden references fascism, he isn't doing it lightly. Yes, what we are dealing with today is a long way from the pro-Nazi movement of the 1930s, thank God, but there are disturbing echoes. The open racism that calls for violence, vilification of immigrants, book bannings, and rejections of democratic norms, which is why Biden is ramping up his travel ahead of the midterm elections, including a rare primetime speech scheduled for this Thursday in Philadelphia, a city acutely linked to this nation's pursuit and promise of freedom. And also where President Obama delivered his famous and historic racist speech in 2008 before eventually picking a running mate named Joe Biden. Now, we are at a crossroads in this country. There is no doubt about it. And in a day outside Independence National Historic Park, an American president will address what the White House calls the battle for the soul of the nation. Then it's up to the voters to decide this fall which side we are on and how much we are willing to fight for it. To support my work, please click the subscribe, the like button, and the notification bell so you wouldn't miss any of my new videos.